Welcome back to the SMT Media Network. We're talking hoops, the association. There was one singular game last night, Game 2 of the Timberwolves and Golden State Warriors series, and it kind of played out exactly as we projected. We really did think that at some point, the Warriors were going to have to pay the piper. Without Steph Curry, it was going to limit their offense, and man, we absolutely saw that last night. So when it comes to the offense between these two teams, it basically boiled down to one team having all of its players and being dynamic and multi-layered and having dimensions, and the other team like getting a bunch of shot clock violations and putting up bricks and not really being able to get high quality looks. And it was impacted their score. You look at the final score, 117-93. The Warriors couldn't get 100. On their defense, it's not bad, but how do you stop and deal with all that pressure from a fully healthy team with really dynamic scores like Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards? These guys are killing it. But anyways, the Wolves shot over 50% from the field. They shot 43% from three, 65% free throw. They did lose the rebounding battle, but it didn't really impact the game too much because their offense was so efficient compared to the Warriors, at least. I don't want to say the Wolves played a perfect game, but they clearly were able to find an easier time getting their points. They were plus on the fast break side, so they were getting points in transition, especially in the first half. I think they had a 25-point lead at some point. I mean, they stretched it out. In fact, to start the game, I think the Wolves were up like 13-0, and it took several minutes for the Warriors to get a bucket, just to get things going. You know what I mean? So that was the story of the game. You just really never got anything going to a substantial level from the Warriors. When you lose a player like Steph, you're losing the gravity of Steph. You're losing the reliability of the scoring from Steph, the dynamic, the fear that he could put into the defense as he runs around the perimeter with the smallest window. He could just put up a three and go on these runs and things like that. When that threat's not there, this is what happens. You get a situation like, Draymond Green shooting 1 of 6 from 3. Like, he opened up the last game 4 of 5 from 3. Like, this is more of a regression to the mean. Like, this is who he is. Mind you, he also had his little technical whatever. Every game it seems to happen, throwing a hissy fit and going crazy and all that. But he healed, came back to planet Earth, 15 points, 4 of 9 from 3, 5 of 14 shooting. Not bad, right? But that's not going to be enough to beat the Timberwolves when you don't have Steph Curry. Pod's 11 points, 1 of 4 from 3. Kuminga was good off the bench, 18 points. He was 8 of 11 in 26 minutes. It just wasn't enough. Jackson Davis gave you a little something off the bench, kind of a surprise. Didn't see that coming, but really limited offense. For the Warriors, it's going to be about how do we create points without Steph. That's what this is going to boil down to. Randall had a good game, 24 points in 33 minutes, 10 of 17 from the field. He also had 11 assists and 7 rebounds. Very good game for him. Jaden McDaniels, 16 points. Anthony Edwards, kind of an injury scare in the middle of the game, went back to the locker room, holding his ankle, kind of got stepped on, 20 points in 34 minutes of action, 6 of 13 from the field. Pretty well-rounded game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, did have 3 steals and a block. Pretty good game. And then off the bench, Naz Reid, 11 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 9 points. And Mikhail Alexander Walker, really nice game for him, 20 points, 7 of 13, 4 of 6 from 3. Really nice. All right, so I'm not going to say that the Timberwolves played their best game. I think the Timberwolves had some good stretches and good moments. If they had to play their best, I'm not sure if they necessarily win this game, because Steph would definitely change that. But this is kind of what we expected. The Wolves were going to win. That was our expectation. They're going to bounce back, and without Steph, it just makes life so much harder on the Warriors. Their offense looks disjointed. It doesn't look threatening. They don't seem dangerous. Jimmy's just going to have to do more. He's going to have to be more dangerous. They're going to have to figure out an offensive flow that likely goes through him. And then between Pods and Hill, they're going to likely have to do more. You can't really rely on Draymond Green to get you 4 out of 5 threes, to start every game. That's just not realistic. But I do think this game played out as we thought it would. The series will shift to Golden State for 2 games. Steph is likely going to miss those 2 and then possibly be reevaluated. No guarantee he makes it back for a Game 5 either, or a Game 6. There's no guarantee of that. We're talking about hamstring, soft tissue injuries for an older player. They're going to have to play it on the safe side. And I just don't expect him to be ready at least until Game 5, and that's no guarantee. The Warriors are going to have to find a win somewhere in this next couple of games in order to stay in the series, because otherwise we're talking about the Wolves just being able to play even below average and still find ways to win. They can win those games. This could be a situation for the Warriors, absolutely. We'll see what happens. Anyways, tell me what you guys thought of the game when you were watching it. Tell me what you think of the rest of the series, games 3 and 4 in Golden State. I'll be looking forward to reading your comments. Like, share, subscribe, check out some more videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.